to me. I'm Jess, and today I'm just going to go through a class with you focused on our hips. So we're going to be doing some hip mobility and stretching the inner and outer hips. It is beginner friendly, so the only equipment you might need is maybe a strap or like a dressing gown rope or something, and potentially some blocks. If you don't have these, then just a couple of books will do the same job. Okay, so if you want to come down and join me in a cross-leg position on your mat, and just find a nice comfortable cross-legged either in your heels in line with your centre body, or just a regular cross-legged, whatever works for you. Bring the hands onto the knees and we're going to face the palms up to the ceiling. Lift up through the spine, roll the shoulders down the back, keep the chest nice and broad, and just drop the chin to the chest slightly. You can close the eyes down here, or just soften the gaze. And we're just going to start to slow the breath down. Just starting to really notice your own breath. As we all know, it's not yoga unless we're breathing. So what we're going to do is start to add some movement into that breath. On your next inhale, we're going to take that count to 4, introducing that equalized breath. As you exhale, that same count to 4. Inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. So on your next inhale, we're going to take the hands to the ceiling, take the gaze up to the hands. As you exhale, let the hands float back by your sides, just adding this gentle movement in. Inhaling, hands up to the ceiling, pull up through the arms. Exhale to lower down, nice and controlled movements. Still with that count of 4. Inhaling up. Exhale to lower. Nice. I'm going to use the hands to draw the knees close together and take the feet out a step in front of you. Pull forwards as far as you can. And then as you exhale, we're going to roll down the spine. Think about every vertebrae touching the floor. As you roll down as slow as controlled as possible. Keep that core engaged until your shoulders meet the floor. Then rest your arms down by your sides. We're going to bend a bit more into that left knee. Take the right leg up to the ceiling. So here we want to flex through the foot. So really pull the toes down towards the body. So here you can take a hold behind the thigh. You might find you become a little deeper. Take a hold behind the calf. Maybe even the big toe. But we want to make sure that the shoulders are still planted down into the mat. And the neck is still nice and relaxed. If you do have a strap, then if you place it just on the top of the foot, and you can use this to draw the leg a little closer and closer towards the body. So wherever you are, just breathing with it. Then on your exhale, we're going to drop that ankle over onto the left knee. And already we're going to push that right knee away from you. And then as we bring the legs up into the body, take the hands and thread them around the left thigh. Keep both feet flexed now, and start to draw those legs in closer and closer to the body. Still pushing that right knee away from you. Still relaxed through the upper body. Then release the hands, keep the legs as they are. Arms come down to shoulder height. Rest them just down into the floor. And then let the legs fall all the way over to the left side of your mat until they find the floor. And then take the gaze down the right shoulder. So we're just feeling this gentle twist along the centre spine. On your next inhale, rolling back through centre. Unhook the legs. Right leg to the floor, left leg to the ceiling. And again, those toes pull down towards the face. Always keep that foot flexed. Taking a hold wherever you find comfortable. Remember, those shoulders want to stay relaxed. So just wherever you feel it. As soon as you keep the feet flexed, you'll feel a stretch at the back of the leg. If this is too much, then you can always bend into the knee. Just work with where you are. Keep focus on the breath. And then lowering that ankle onto the right knee. The left knee is pushing away from you. Draw the legs up into the body, flex through the feet. Take a hold behind the right thigh. And start to draw those legs closer and closer into the body. Every exhalation, you see if you can pull a little tighter. Feeling that stretch on the outside of that right hip into the glute, the left hip and glute. Taking the hands out beside you, rest them into the floor. Then let the legs fall all the way to the right side. Once you feel comfortable there, gaze down the left shoulder. On your next inhale, drawing the legs back through centre, planting both feet on the floor and a close up towards the bum. Place the hands down by your side and see if you can touch your heels with your fingertips. Ideally, this is where we want to be. Then press the hands down beside you. On your next inhale, feel like peeling the spine off the floor, tailbone first, rolling the hips up to the ceiling until you get onto the shoulders. Keeping the gaze up at the ceiling or focusing on your stomach. As you exhale, start to roll down the spine, every vertebrae finding the floor, until finally our tailbone touches, whole spine is on the mat. Take a second to reset, and as you inhale, peel the hips off the floor, and we're going to send the hands overhead. Pushing the hips up, push through the feet, and then try and relax through the glutes, especially if you feel this in your low back. And as you exhale, nice and controlled, as we lower the hips down, lower the arms down. Take a second to reset there. Then on your inhale, again, lifting the hips up, lifting the hands overhead. Feel like you're trying to pull your chest into your chin. And then as you exhale, we're lowering down, nice, controlled, mindful movements. And again, relax there when you get there. And hugging the knees into the chest. And just taking a gentle rock from side to side. Your choice, whether you prefer to curl up into a little ball and feel that connection through the centre spine. Or you can relax the shoulders down, push the tailbone into the floor, and take a rock from side to side there. Maybe even making some little circles to feel like a little massage on your lower back. Nice, then legs up to the ceiling, take a hold behind the thighs. We're going to start to roll up and down the spine. Building up some momentum, take a couple of rolls until you can come all the way up onto the bum. Plant the feet down and take them as wide as the mat. Bring the hands into your heart centre. We're just going to let the knees fall over to the left hand side. Turn the chest to face the left. Then coming back through centre, turn to face the right. The chest pulls round to the right. Keep the shoulders rolled down the back. Inhale forwards. Exhale left. Lift through the chest. Back through centre. And over to the right. You might find you're working your way down the mat. And over. Nice, finally back to centre. We're going to cross the legs, roll over the knees, come into a tabletop position. So setting up your tabletop, we want the wrists under the shoulders, spread out through the hands, turn the biceps forwards. Knees are under the hips, tops of the feet press down onto the mat. And take the gaze in between the hands, find a nice flat back, so engage that core. On your next inhale, let's take a cat-cow variation. Inhaling up, to look up as high as you can. Sink the stomach to the floor, into your cow. Then as you exhale, rounding through the back, tucking the chin in towards the chest. Really push the mat away from you. Inhaling, coming up, taking the gaze up, rolling the shoulders down the back. And as you exhale, we're really tucking that tailbone under. See if you can almost look at your belly button. One more time, big inhale into your cow. And big exhale back, find your cat pose. Inhaling back to centre. Keep in this tabletop position and just noticing where your hips are. They're going to stay exactly as they are as we start to walk the hands away from you. Keep it active through the arms, keep the biceps pushing up. Once you feel you're at your maximum length, then start to sink the chest down towards the floor. So you might find your chest finds the floor, in which case send the gaze forwards. If it doesn't, stay active through the arms And feel like this is almost like a down dog position. So we're in that puppy pose. Keep active through the arms. One more inhale. And as you exhale, coming back, draw the hands back into your tabletop. Again, setting up this tabletop position, nice strong core. And as you inhale, taking the right hand up to the ceiling. And as you exhale, we're coming into our thread the needle, threading it through the hand and the body, sinking the shoulder down, resting the head on the floor. And then either a gentle push into the left hand, or you can take the left hand to the ceiling and then drop it down the right side of the body. So just working to where you feel comfortable. Noticing if you put in particular pressure into the right knee. If you are, just try and balance it out, keeping the hips nice and square. On your next exhale, the left hand comes back to the floor. Inhale, right hand all the way to the ceiling, gazing up with it. Exhale back into your tabletop. Your next inhale, we're going to take the left hand up, gaze up with it. Exhale to thread the needle. Rest in the shoulder, rest the head. And then again, just that gentle push to send that right shoulder over might be enough. Or you can take the right hand up and then drop it down the left side of the body. So just using that to help draw that shoulder round. On your next exhale, right hand finds the floor. Inhale, left hand all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale, back tabletop. We're going to tuck the toes under, send the hips to the ceiling, find your downward dog. So setting up your down dog, make sure the hands are shoulder distance. Make sure your feet are hip distance. Then bend into the knees. Come high up onto the tiptoes. And think about sending the hips up to the ceiling. Really push through the hands. Feel like you're sending your chest towards your thighs. And if this feels okay, then you can start to introduce the legs. So keep the hips up as high as you can. And you start to sink one heel down. Then start to pedal through. Bend into the opposite knee. As you sink the opposite heel down. Keep strong through the arms. Nice gentle movements. And looking forwards, bend into the knees. We're going to take little baby steps towards the front of the mat. And when you get there, keep a bend through the knees, keep the stomach sat on the thighs. Take opposite hand to elbow. And just taking a sway in your ragdoll. Crown of the head draws down towards the floor. And take a little rock from side to side. Maybe a shake through the neck, make sure you're not holding any tension there. Then on your next inhale, we're going to start to roll up really slowly. Think about stacking vertebrae on vertebrae until your head is the last thing to lift. And then we'll all come to the front of the mat, setting up your mountain pose, your Tadasana. Big toes together, pull up through the thighs. The tailbone tucks under, the core will engage. Then roll the shoulders down the back, face the palms forward. And on your next inhale, we're going to take the hands to the ceiling, gaze up to the thumbs. As you exhale, we're hinging from the hips, plant the hands on the floor. So you can bend the knees if you need to. Then as you inhale, find a half lift. The chest pulls forward, the shoulders pull back. We have a nice flat back. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step back into your plank. Nice high plank, push the mat away from you. And lower the knees to the floor, untuck the toes. Bend the elbows back into the ribs as you lower the chin and the chest to the floor. Then as you inhale, we're pushing the chest forward as we sink the hips to the floor, coming into your cobra. The arms can still be bent. If you're straightening out, keep the chest lifted, extending through the spine. Then as you exhale, roll over the knees, tuck the toes under, send the hips up into your down dog. And on your next inhale, we're going to float the right leg to the ceiling. As you exhale, we'll step that foot forwards, up in between the hands. So we're staying high on those back toes, really push the toes into the mat. Feel like you're about to split your mat apart. Then on your next inhale, pull the hands forwards as far as you can. And all the way to the ceiling, keeping that bend into the front knee. Sinking into your crescent lunge. Take an inhale to lengthen. And as you exhale, we're going to start to slowly lower that left knee to the floor. Untuck the toes when you get there. And then start to sink the hips forwards into your low lunge. If you feel like you're caving in or it's a lot of pressure on your lower back, hands onto the knee. Push the knee away from you, feel extended through the spine before you start to lower the hips down. Big deep breaths. Big inhales for 4 seconds. Exhale for 4 seconds. We're going to bring the hands to the floor. Make sure you're on the top part of the knee, so almost roll forwards on the knee. And then start to draw the heel up towards the bum. Keep the chest pulling forwards. And lower the knee down. You might not want to come all the way in case the knee is rolling. Maybe just the tiptoes touch the floor. See if you can come back up, hands onto the knee. Inhale, lift that foot towards the bum. Just using that hamstring strength. Don't compromise the hips, keep them pushing forwards. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lifting up. Squeezing in as far as you can. And lowering down nice and controlled. Hands back to the floor. Lift the back knee away. Step back into your plank. Lower down through your chaturanga, knees up or down. Lower the body all the way to the floor. Untuck the toes. Take the hands out in front of you, fingertips on the floor, elbows to the ceiling. Tuck the chin to the chest. As you inhale, feel like you're rolling up through your spine. And then take the gaze all the way to the ceiling. And as you exhale, roll down through the spine. Tuck the chin to the chest at the bottom. Inhale, rolling up. Gaze up. Exhale to roll down. Chin to the chest. Last time, really push up. Strong shoulders. Push the floor away from you, gaze up. Still extending through the chest. Exhale to roll down. Hands back under the shoulders, tuck the toes. Hips back up into down dog. Take a little pedal through the legs. Then on your next inhale, the left leg comes to the ceiling. Stretching the toes up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, step the foot between the hands. On your inhale, pull forwards, nice, strong, and up to the ceiling. Knees stacked over the ankle, back leg nice and straight behind. Lengthen through the upper body. And as you exhale, we're going to really slow and controlled, lower the knee down to the floor. Untuck the toes. Sinking the hips forwards. Again, you've got the option of hands onto the knee, pushing the hands away. So it's almost like your upper body's pushing back, hips are pushing forwards. Keep lifted through the chest. It's exactly the same feeling if the hands are at the ceiling. Big deep breaths. And as you exhale, hands to the floor. Make sure that knee's nice and safe, roll forwards. Keep the chest pulling forwards as you start to lift the heel towards the bum. Just strengthen that hamstring. Keep the hips pushing forward. You should feel a nice stretch on that right hip flexor going into the quad. Exhale to lower just as far as you can without the knee rolling. Inhale up. Exhale to lower. Got the option to bring the hands back onto the knee. Lifting the knee in, squeezing as tight as you can. Exhale, lower down. Nice. Hands back to the floor. Lift the knee away from the floor, step back into your plank. Lower through your chaturanga. Body all the way down. Untuck the toes. And take the hands out in front of you. Really extending through the whole body. Then on your inhale, we're going to press the hands down to the floor. Lift the feet up. Hips are still in contact with the floor. And exhale, lower down nice and slowly. On your inhale, we're going to lift the hands off the floor. Push the feet down into the mat. Lifting the chest up, taking the hands up with you. Exhale to lower. On your next inhale, everything comes up. Just contact with the stomach and the hips. Legs are up, arms are up. Extending through the whole body still. One more breath. Then as you exhale, you're going to pull the arms back behind you, making these cactus arms. Inhale out. Extend. Exhale to pull those shoulder blades together. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, really pull them back, lift the chest. And exhale, hands under the shoulders. And then we're going to take the hands out beside you. Place the left hand under the shoulder. Keep the body nice and straight, core strong. And then just start to roll over onto your right side. So you should be feeling a nice stretch on that right shoulder. You might even find you can place that left leg behind you and take the gaze all the way up to the ceiling. If you find you're not feeling a stretch there, then you can make this cactus arm on the floor. Inhaling back through center. Stretch out that left arm. Right hand comes under the shoulder. And again, keep the body straight as you push into that right hand, rolling onto your left side. The right leg might come behind, just with that bit of extra support. And take the gaze up. Inhale back through center. Hands under the shoulders, tuck the toes, push straight up into your down dog. Your choice whether you choose to stay static here in your downward dog or whether you choose to pedal through the legs. Yogi's choice. Maybe a wiggle through the hips, maybe through the shoulders. One more big breath here. Big full inhales and deep exhales. And on your next inhale, taking the right leg to the ceiling. As you exhale, we're going to come into our pigeon. So right knee behind the wrist, and then foot sends across to the left side of the body. The left leg then sinks back behind you. You can keep the hands down for support. Take a little look back and make sure that left leg's nice and straight. Then we want to rotate the hips so they're squaring forwards. So our hip bones are facing the front of the mat. So have a little play around. You might find that you want to send that knee further out to the side. So as you walk the hands in, maybe the right bum cheek isn't touching the floor. And that's absolutely fine. Maybe just pop a cushion, or if you have a block, then just popping it under the right bum cheek there. Because we really want the hips to stay nice and square. So if you're not feeling much of a stretch on that right glute, then you might want to just take the foot a little further away from you, just wiggle it. And make sure you're drawing that left hip down. If this feels okay, then keep that right foot flexed. If you find the foot is more comfortable closer in towards the body, then just let it fall to where it wants. Walk the hands in, take a big inhale as you puff up through the chest. Then as you exhale, we're folding forwards, taking the hands out in front, or maybe creating a shelf with the arms, just to rest the head on. You can take 3 big deep breaths. Focusing on that equalized breath. Keep drawing that left hip down towards your heel. And on your next inhale, we're going to walk the hands back in towards the body. Keeping the chest lifted, try not to dump into the lower back. We're going to shift the weight all the way over to the right side. With the left leg, it's going to swing round. See if you can tap the right side of the floor. And as you exhale, we're going to swing it back round, setting up your pigeon. The hands can stay down for support, or if you want, bring your hands to heart center. Roll over to the right side, swing that leg around. Tap the right side. Exhale back, square off the hips. Weight over to the right, last time, swing the leg around, tap. Exhale back into your pigeon. Nice, hands down for support. And like in our low lunge, we're going to start to draw the heel up towards the bum. Just using that hamstring strength. Exhale to lower as far as you can, let the knee roll in. Inhale, lift. Keep the chest pulling forwards. Exhale down. Nice, one last time. Inhale, hold it there, squeeze it in as tight as you can. And then with the left hand, we're going to reach around and take a hold of the foot. So squaring the shoulders off forwards, we're just going to start to pull the heel in towards the bum. Taking the stretch further down that hip flexor into the quad. If you find you're not reaching, it's a really good prop to use as our strap. So we're just going to wrap it around the top of the foot. Square the hips off, square the shoulders off, and then just start to pull the strap in. Keeping the foot hooked in, drawing the leg in towards the body. And nice and slowly start to lower down. And we're going to tuck the toes under, hands to the floor, and lift the knee off the floor. If this feels okay, we're going to start to send the hips forward, so we're rolling onto that front shin. Exhale down. It's very tricky first time, so keep the hands down. If you feel this in your lower back, send the hands further forwards. Inhale as you push the knee up, push the hips forwards. Feel that right glute activate. Exhale down. If this all feels okay, hands to your heart center. Lift through the chest. Inhale, push up. Exhale to lower. One more time. Big inhale. Lift the hips up as high as you can. Lift through the chest. Exhale down. Nice. Hands back to the floor. Shift the weight over to the left side, to the right side. Swing the leg all around. And this time take a hold of the foot. Just take some sways. Try to get that knee all the way behind you. Swaying from side to side. Then that right leg, we're going to push it forwards until the shin is squared with the front of the mat. And then the ankle is going to be placed on top of the right knee. So then as we gently push the left knee down onto that right ankle, everything's in line in our firewall position. So our knees and our ankles are stacked. Lift through the chest. Keep the feet flexed. You should feel this on the outer left hip. Keep the shoulders rolled down the back. Breathe into it. We're going to let that right foot fall all the way over. So we're going to come into a transition as we take the hands around to the right side. Keep the feet as they are. We're going to send the hips to the ceiling, facing the back of the room. Then as we keep the hands walking to the right foot, we're going to come all the way back around. Feet have stayed in the same place. Sink the bum down in between the legs. So we're here on the opposite side. So we're just then going to hug the right knee in with the left arm. Left hand comes behind you. Place it down just behind the bum. Inhale as you lift and lengthen. Exhale to twist and gaze down that right shoulder. Every inhalation finding a little more length. Every exhalation just twisting a little deeper. On your next inhale, come back to center. Wiggle those feet apart, coming into your Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together. If you tend to have knee injuries, then always keep it wide. Otherwise, draw the heels all the way into the body. Take a hold of the feet and almost open them up like a book. Letting the knees just fall to where they want. Shoulders roll down the back, chest is nice and lifted. Drop the chin to the chest. Take a couple of big equalized breaths here. Always coming back to this breath. inhale, using your hands to draw the legs back together, swinging them round to the side. Find your tabletop. Tuck the toes under, hips to the ceiling, downward dog. Your choice to either take a little pedal through the legs or just remaining static, sinking the chest down towards the thighs. And on the next inhale, start to float that left leg to the ceiling. Pigeon on this side, knee behind the wrist, foot comes across to the right side of the body. Then as you start to sink that right leg back behind you. So again, making sure the hips are squared forwards. The right hip is drawn down to the floor. Big stretch along the outer glute. So have a little play around, make it right for you, whether that's the shin, becoming parallel with the front of the mat, foot flexed, or the foot in close to the body. Squaring the hips up, maybe the block needs to come under the bum. Wherever you are, start to walk the hands in towards the body. Take a big lift up through the chest, big inhale, and then as you exhale, start to float the hands forwards. Either stretching through the side bodies, taking them as long as you can, or creating that shelf with the arms and resting the head. Wherever you are, just trying to find some comfort. Working on drawing that right hip down towards the floor. Taking one more big breath here. And then as you inhale, we're going to start to walk the hands back in towards the body. Shifting the weight all the way over to that left side. Swinging the right leg around. Tap the left side of the mat. Exhale, swing it back. Square the hips off. Either keep the hand down for support or hands to heart center. Shift the weight over, swing that leg around. Tap. Exhale back. Square off the hips. Inhale round, last one. Tap. Exhale back. Keep the chest lifted. Nice. Back into our pigeon. Hands come down for support. Big lift through the chest. We want to really keep extending that spine. And then as you exhale, start to draw the heel up towards the bum. Squeeze it in as much as you can. Exhale to lower, nice and controlled. Inhale up, squeezing in. Exhale down. Nice controlled movements. Last one, big inhale. Hold it there. You either reach around with the right hand, square the shoulders off forwards. So really pull that right shoulder back towards the front of the mat. And then you can start to pull the heel in towards the bum. Or grab your strap, again hook it around the foot. Whatever works for you. And nice and slowly start to lower that foot down, tucking the toes under. Hands stay on the floor, lift the knee off the mat, push the hips forwards. Really engage that right glute, and start to lower down. If you feel it in your lower back again, hands a little step forwards. Otherwise, hands to heart center. Find something to focus on, it is a balance as well. So as you inhale, we're pushing through that back leg, pushing the hips forwards, coming to balance on the shin. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift the chest. Pull the shoulders back down the back. Exhale down. Nice, one more time. Big inhale. Push those hips forwards. Exhale down. Nice. Shift the weight over to the left side. Swinging the right leg all the way around. Take a hold of the foot. And again, just swaying from side to side. Drawing that knee back behind you as far as you can. Really opening out through that right hip. And then making sure that left shin is parallel with the front of the mat. Then we're going to place the ankle on top of the left knee. And then as we square off the sit bones, make sure you can feel them pressing down into the floor. Start to push that right knee down onto the ankle. So we don't want to force it, just a gentle little nudge until you feel that stretch. Keep the feet flexed, keep the shoulders relaxed. So from your firewall position here, we're going to let the right foot fall all the way over until it finds the floor. Coming into that transition again. Rotating towards the left side, hands on the floor. Feet stay in the same place as you rotate the hips up to the ceiling. Keep walking hands over to the left foot, and as you twist round, start to sink the bum down into the middle of the feet. And then that left foot can just hug a little closer in, let the sit bones find the floor. Right hand then hugs in the leg, left hand comes behind you, placing it behind the bum. Lift and lengthen, push through that back hand. Then as you exhale, hug that leg in towards the body, take the gaze down the left shoulder. Into your Lord of the Fishes. Take a big inhale, find length. And as you exhale, maybe twist a little further around towards that shoulder. On your next inhale, come back through center. Wiggle the legs apart. This time coming into your wide forward fold. So legs out nice and wide, but not to your complete maximum. Still want to be able to sit up nice and straight, keep the shoulders relaxed, and then start to pull the toes in towards the face. Pull the feet towards the back of the room, you'll feel the legs activate there. Hands in the center, take a big inhale as you lift the chest. Then as you exhale, we're going to start to roll forwards. Think about hinging from the hips. Legs haven't moved. You just start to walk the hands away from you. You might find your forearms will find the floor, in which case send the chest forwards. This is a forward fold, so we always want a straight spine. So you can stay here, work on pulling the chest through the arm space, or you can carry on walking the hands away from you. And we want to find contact with our stomach before we do our head. So maybe send the gaze forward, work on the stomach finding the floor. Or if you feel you're there, then you can tuck the chin to the chest and rest the head down. Just one more big breath here. And then on your next inhale, starting to walk the hands back in towards your body. Drawing the legs back together and taking a cross-leg position. So we recommend taking a few moments in a Shavasana here. So whether that's lying flat on your back and just taking a moment to be still, closing the eyes down. Just thanking yourself for allowing this time and thanking your body for what it allows you to do. So feel free to pause me here and have a few moments to yourself. But thank you very much for watching and joining in. Namaste.